Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill. I am your e-recruiter. I am so thrilled once again to be welcoming you to another online virtual event. Tonight, our very special population is the Spring 2025 incoming new class of students. We are so excited to be joining with you tonight to get into this new topic here about new students, which is you, and all of your next steps. So what the heck are you supposed to do next? We are here to tell you all about that. Before we get started, let me give you a couple of really quick Zoom reminders. In the lower left corner of your screen, you can go ahead and adjust your audio settings there if you need to. If at any time you would like to zoom into something that we're showing you, you can do so by clicking View Options in the upper portion of your screen. And I will give you a little secret. You are in store for a demonstration tonight, so that might come in handy. Other events, maybe you haven't used it. This one, you might want to have that on the ready. Lastly, we also will be available for live question and answers tonight. Make sure that you send in your questions using the Q&A button. We will get to those at the end of our presentation, but we also are fully staffed behind the scenes, so we may be sneaking in some answers to you that way as well. All right, and lastly, let me just mention that we are recording our session tonight, so I will be getting this posted up on YouTube in the next day or two, and we will make sure that we get that information out to you in case you'd like to come back and watch it again at your leisure. Once again, my name is Ricky Hill, your e-recruiter. It's going to be so much fun tonight. Thank you so much for joining at this time. Let me go ahead and toss things over to my dear friend, Lisa Perry.
Thank you, Ricky. Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Perry. I'm the director of the Students First Center at UC Merced. And if you don't know what the Students First Center is, you're going to learn all about us tonight. We are your campus one-stop. So our team is cross-trained in admissions, financial aid, registration, and billing. So unlike many other campuses, on ours, you just have to call, email, or talk to one person, and we can typically answer most of your questions. And if we can't, we will get you to the right person. So tonight, there are three of us from our team here, and we are going to go over next steps. We're going to go over some registration tips and tricks. We're going to go over financial aid tips and tricks, and then we'll probably spend a chunk of time doing live Q&A because, as you can see, we are a little intimate group tonight, so you will get personalized help. So I am going to turn it over to my friend Sosik, and she is going to introduce herself next before we get started.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited to welcome you guys to the campus. So exciting for spring. I'm totally excited. I hope you guys all get the opportunity to come in person and see us and just say hi and say, hey, I seen you at the webinar. So we love to meet our students. So come on by there when you start class. But my name is Sosik Chavuchian, and I will assist in answering questions and going over your next steps. And I'll pass it over to Chris.
Thank you, Sophie. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Green. I'm Assistant Director for the Students First Center. I'm also a UC Merced alumni. I graduated with a degree in psychology and economics, and I minored in sociology. So super excited to talk to you guys about campus and resources, and I'll pass it back over to Lisa.
Yeah, and tonight Chris is going to do the registration demo because he's been through it before. All right, let's get started. You know enough about us now. Okay, so the way we're going to do this tonight, we're going to start with just some reminders of the things you need to do each month. And then we'll do a demo for registration, and then we'll do some financial aid, and then we'll get into Q&A. All right, so November, all of you should have submitted your statement of intent to register by now, which is why you should have gotten this invite. But if you haven't, please do so ASAP. And that is just your acceptance of your admissions offer saying, yes, I'm coming to UC Merced. After that, you've got a few other things that are taking place in November. So the University of California system requires all students to carry major medical coverage. If you have your own insurance, either through you, through Medi-Cal, through your family's plan, and it meets our criteria, then you can waive out of ours. If you don't waive out of ours, we are going to charge you for insurance. That item should be on your checklist. If it's not, because I think we might have had an issue today that we're working on, check back tomorrow. Otherwise, we can get you the direct link to get that taken care of already. But basically, you're going to go in and answer some questions about the type of coverage you have, and then we will let you know if that meets our criteria and if you're able to waive out of ours. The next thing that you need to take care of is registering for orientation. Orientation is going to take place in the month of January, right before school starts. We'll show you that in our January slide. And that item should also be listed on your checklist. If you are required to take placement exams, those are also open now and are actually we're due a couple of days ago. Tip, you can still take them. So the priority deadline was the 18th, but if you missed that, you can still go in and take them. And then some of you may have something on your checklist called a statement of legal residence. If that is there, I recommend doing that sooner rather than later. It's just an online questionnaire to double check that you meet the requirements to qualify for California tuition. I'm also going to back up real quick because I've been talking about your checklist. If you haven't found your checklist yet, please try and do so right now. You might want to log in and kind of follow along. So the way you get to your checklist is by logging into your student portal. At UC Merced, we call that your Connect account. The website is connect.ucmerced.edu. It's where you got your admissions decision, and it's where you clicked, yes, I want to come to UC Merced. When you log into Connect, if you select My Merced, in that page, there is an icon there that says My Checklist, and that's where you're going to see a lot of these items that we're talking about tonight. If anyone has questions about that, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and we can show you kind of a live demo of the checklist as well. All right, that's the month of November. I'm going to turn it over to Sosik, and she's going to walk you through the next couple of months.
So now you know about your portal, and you guys are going to just be super busy in all of month of November. You have so many little tasks to do, but key thing is the three things you see here is attend webinars, definitely read your communications, and register for courses. And please note, it is really important to remember that our communications, when we email students, we always email you in your student email. So don't look for emails, communications via Gmail and all that good stuff, but look in your student portal. Key dates to remember is beginning of December, 12/1/24 is financial aid priority. That's the deadline for documents. So make sure you check your checklist and see what it is you need to do. And just a side note, everybody has different requirements. So don't panic if you don't see some of the things we talk about. It just may mean you're not selected for that or whatnot. It could be anything of that sort. So just little side note. 12/4/24 is course registration. 12/15 is when the deferred payment plan opens. 12/24 is university winter break begins. So those are key dates to remember. Just keep that in mind. And then we have some really key important dates. Then you get a little break, you enjoy your little winter break and take a little breather, and then you come back to a full schedule again. On 1/5/25, beginning of the year, you have your housing application deadline. So very important to get that in timely. January 6th is you sign your housing contract. This is to guarantee your housing. So make sure you sign it by that date. For New Year and transfer and first year students. So that's only if you're planning to live at the campus for new transfers in first year. The 7th of the new year is your health insurance waiver. And I think Lisa touched on that. It closes on the 7th. And folks, I want to just tell you, they are super strict. That's a hard stop date. You could tell them any story in the world and they will not budge from that date. So you could go in at midnight on the 7th and they'll be like, sorry, you missed the deadline. And they stick to that just to be fair to everyone. So make sure if you do have insurance or anything else, make sure you get those waivers in timely. The 8th is the deadline to register for spring orientation. A lot of good information on those orientations. I know sometimes they're like, do I really have to do that? You get so much info, good stuff. So I highly encourage you to do that. The 15th, already middle of the month, is the spring fee payment deadline. So, and also that's when your DPP, we refer to it as DPP for deferred payment plan. That's your first payment is due on that day. 16th is the beautiful day where you guys get to move in. For those of you that are going to live on campus, our beautiful campus there. The 21st, first day of instruction. It's going to sneak up on you. Wow, that's like literally around the corner. 21st is immunization requirements are due. So we strongly suggest sometimes it takes time to get those records from doctors you haven't seen for so many years. So start working on them now. Like don't even wait for the winter break or beginning of the year. Start tracking those down, getting them together. And well, you guys are going to be busy Bobcats. Lisa, take it away.
All right, we're actually going to let Chris take it away now because
Sorry. Chris, it's all yours.
yeah, those are all your dates and deadlines. And if you haven't checked your UC Merced email yet, we are emailing you every time a date and deadline comes up. We are sending you messages to help remind you. And again, if you haven't found your UC Merced email, we'll show you at the end. Just go ahead and drop it in the Q&A if you'd like us to show you where that is. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to my friend Chris, and he is going to walk you through registration. Like I said earlier, you might want to follow along. So if you're not logged into your Connect account, do that now. All right, Chris, let me know when you want me to get out of the screen and go to the pages.
Oh yeah, we could totally start going to the catalog now. Thank you both. In the chat, I did put the link for the university catalog. We're gonna essentially demo that. That way you could see a sample of a 4-year graduation plan. Tonight, I'm going to provide a quick overview of registration info and resources. However, don't feel too overwhelmed. We're going to provide a lot of different tips and resources, but we're also going to give you some little homework essentially to do to start to prepare for registration. Your registration is going to open on December 4th. However, over the next few weeks, if you start utilizing these resources that we'll provide, you will be best prepared. So in the university catalog, on the left-hand side, if you search your academic major or program, in this example, we're doing psychology, you'll actually be able to see essentially the courses that are going to be required to obtain your bachelor's degree. And so this is an example for a potential psychology major. At the very top, you can see the 4-year course plan, and you can go ahead and click on it and more in depth see what may be recommended by term. You can actually potentially swap some of your courses. So if um, unable to do your general education area A in fall, you might be able to instead pull from one of your spring courses or even potentially another fall course, kind of mix and match depending on what's available. And we could do one more example. Let's do chemistry. Mhm. Any major you can look at and kind of essentially browse what you are going to need to complete over the next few years at UC Merced. So this is a great resource to utilize alongside your academic advisor and your My Degree Path. Your My Degree Path within your portal is going to help you to essentially roadmap and schedule build out over the next couple years and semesters what you want to take.
And
Uh,
Chris, can I add in just a couple of
of
things real
course.
quick? The
Mhm.
other, so as Chris was talking about, this is a sample plan, and so you don't have to do these in the exact order. Like if a course is full, then pick from another area, and maybe you take that one in, a different term. You all are entering in the spring, so where it says fall, you might be starting over here instead of over here. But the other thing to pay attention to is that you need to make sure that you've met the prerequisites for these courses. So anything that's blue, you can click on. So I'm going to click on, let's do general chemistry 2. And so if I click on it, it tells me this is a 4-unit course. Here's what the course is going to go over. And then down here, it tells me the prerequisite is Chem 2 or Chem 2H or equivalent with the exam. So if I go try and register in this and I haven't taken Chem 2 or don't have the equivalent, it's going to give me an error. And Chris is going to show you registration errors a little bit later. But this is really important to do. And we're showing this to you with lots of time. You should have gotten an email yesterday that kind of kicked off registration for you. It directed you to some videos that we're going to show you in a minute, and started trying to get you prepared of thinking about planning ahead for registration. So don't get overwhelmed by all the information you're getting tonight. You can easily get back to this later. And again, we're going to continue to send you emails that are going to guide you through this. All right, Chris, your turn.
Great, thank you. And I think this is a good time to kind of address two questions that have come through the chat live. One is, as a transfer student, do I need to take placement exams? The answer would be they're on your checklist. However, if you're turning in official test scores and or transcripts that are going to exempt you from the placement exam, once we receive and process those records, we'll go ahead and update your checklist. So as you're looking through the placement exam, potentially FAQ, and you're seeing what can maybe test you out of that exam, um, if you are seeing that it is a certain test score and or course that you're turning in, once we get those official test scores and or transcripts, we'll be able to mark those off your checklist. So if you no longer have potentially in progress coursework from those institutions, it's totally okay to start turning those in sooner than later. However, if you're enrolled in those courses or that institution for fall, hold off on ordering those transcripts to us until you have your final fall 24 grades.
And
Um,
the other thing is I just dropped this link in the chat. These are all the placement exams that UC Merced offers and or may require. And each one we tell you, like for writing, all first years who have not satisfied the UC entry level writing requirement must complete. And then this one, computer science and engineering, all first year computer science and engineering or math majors must take it. I know there's one that says something about transfer students too, but each one of them you can click on to get more information. And like Chris said, they're also listed in your checklist, what's required for you personally.
All right, thank you. A bit more registration info. One question was, are seats reserved for transfer students? My recommendation is to check the course schedule regularly for updates, especially the day before your registration. You might see differences in the course selection. We're going to end up looking at the course schedule together, and I'll drop that link in the chat. We are aware that first year or continuing students have already registered for spring. And so what we're going to do in the next couple of weeks is right before your registration, we'll pause the ability for our continuing students to register. And you may see additional seats and or sections open up for you all come your registration on the 4th. So again, prior to December 4th, have your game plan for maybe what you want to take, a couple options. Watch and utilize our registration resources beforehand to be prepared, including checking and reviewing your UC Merced email as well. And then let's look at some course examples together. And I'll show you how to link courses together. That's a common registration error that some people receive. Some of our courses have different components that need to be input together in order to successfully register. So when we go to the course schedule, we're looking at spring 25 courses. We'll click on that. And then let's do chemistry, for example. We can just search.
The one thing I do recommend, because you don't have to put in the course number. It'll just pull up every chemistry course at that point. But if you know specifically what you're looking for, you can type it in. But I do recommend putting open sections only. So otherwise you get a bunch of noise that you don't really need. This one limits it down and kind of helps you at least focus on what's open currently.
All right, thank you. So at the very top, we'll see the lecture for Chem 1. And that is the CRN or the course number that you'll input. On the right-hand side, you see the meeting times as well as the final exam times. You're only going to go to the final exam once. The final exam times for spring will be in May. So you're really focusing on when you're going to meet in the academic year on that top one. So this, for example, is going to meet Tuesday, Thursday, 9:30 to 10:20. In addition to the lecture for this one in particular, you're also going to select one of the open discussion sections below. So this is going to be a two-part kind of input into your My Registration come the time. And on the right-hand side, if you do click that View Linked Courses that Lisa just did, you'll see more broken down what discussions are actually linked to the above lecture. Some courses, however, it's only going to be a lecture. Some courses you'll end up seeing it's a lecture, discussion, and a lab. It's really case by case. So review the course schedule and feel free to reach out if you have any questions and or concerns. If you are registering and if there is a specific registration error, it'll appear in your My Registration and it'll tell you what's causing the conflict. If you're having any difficulties understanding what type of error that you're getting, feel free to contact the Students First Center for support. We're available by phone. We're in person in our administration building in our lobby. We have actually virtual appointments and even Zoom hours, a Zoom drop-in window that you could join and even share your screen for assistance. But yeah, in the chat, Lisa will be putting a lot of the common registration errors. And as you review the course registration preparation material, that's going to more in depth show you the student experience of inputting the numbers through your My Registration or Connect portal, and also potentially how a registration error can look. So definitely review that kind of course material over the next few weeks. And another cool registration option is in the event that the courses are closed, again, continue to check for course openings. More seats or openings become available based on other students doing adding and dropping and or course availability opening up. But you can also waitlist a course. And so that's another option as well.
And just how Chris mentioned that we're going to pause registration for our continuing students the day that you all register. We also turn off waitlist functionality that day. So waitlist and registration pause will be lifted later on December 5th because you all are going to register on December 4th. So if you are trying to get into a course that's full and it has a waitlist option, which you can see that over here on the status. Just note that waitlist functionality will be turned back on after you all have had the chance to register on the 4th. Anything else, Chris?
I think that was it for registration. I'll pass it back over to you, Lisa. Thank you.
Okay, I am going to show you all this Next Steps website real quick. We had it linked on all the pages where we were talking about dates and deadlines. But this is also a super useful website. And basically, you need to do all these things in the order that they're listed here. And it's basically everything that we're going over. But as Chris mentioned, some of the registration tools that we're sending you via email, we do recommend that you start kind of going through those now so that you're prepared. And one of those is this here, step 9, register for classes. We have these short little videos that we've made, and these were emailed out to you yesterday as well. They're like 5 minutes or less. They're super quick and easy. And you have plenty of time to like watch one a day right now while you're building up to registration, but they're going to walk you through what you need to do. So understanding your placement exams, understanding how like transfer coursework that you've taken will affect your registration. Or if you're a first year student, maybe how AP courses are going to affect your registration. Then this is going to tell you how you're going to know what classes to take your first semester. This is going to guide you through a tool that we call My Degree Path, which is basically like a really cool planner where you can drag and drop things and build a schedule. And it'll start checking things off for you so that you know that you're on your way. For people who like me who really like checking things off on a list, the My Degree Path is really cool. Then number 5 is going to go through basically what Chris just showed you, the registration experience. And number 6 also gets into that a little bit more. And one of these, I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it must be 6. One of them goes into the errors that we were talking about as well. Okay, we're going to switch topics. So I'm going to unshare real quick and we're going to go into financial aid. So I'm going to slowly transition so that you all can catch up. If you want to follow along, go back into your Connect account and then go to My Financial Aid. So this is a tool that we call your direct cost worksheet. And I know that's a lot of jargon, but basically I tell people this is like your crystal ball planning ahead for what your bill is going to actually look like in January. Now, this one is a student example, someone that was here for both semesters. Right now, just pay attention to the spring column. So if both of your columns are populated, just pay attention to the spring one right now. But basically what this does is it's forecasting for you what your charges are going to be, what your aid is going to look like, and then what's left over that needs to be covered by some type of funding. And so I'll explain that a little bit more. Please note, this is not an exact bill, but it's a really close estimate of what your bill will look like in January. So this section A here at the top is where you're going to see potential charges populated. So fees and tuition, this first line should be the same for everybody. Number 2 might be populated if you're required to fill out the statement of legal residence. If you have something populated in there, but you know that you are going to qualify for in-state tuition, this is an interactive tool, so you can just delete it, hit 0, then press enter or return, and it will auto adjust this worksheet for you. The housing and meal plan will only be populated for you if on your FAFSA you indicated, or your CATA, you indicated that you're going to be living on campus. And the amount that it's populating with is an estimate. So we can drop the link to the exact amounts if you want to go in and plug in your exact amount to get an even closer estimate. And then this health insurance may or may not be populated for you in the spring, but if you know you're going to waive out, then you can just change it to 0. If you know you're going to take ours, then populate it with the amount, and we can put the link to show you the exact amount as well. So that's section A, potential charges. Section B is anything that we have given you that we call gift aid. And gift aid is basically money you don't have to pay back. So grants and scholarships are a form of funding from financial aid that you do not have to pay back. It's free money, basically. So any type of gift aid that you've been awarded will have populated in this section B. And then down here, oops, go back. Down here in section C, this is self-help aid. So this is any loans that we've offered you and you have accepted. If we've offered you loans and you haven't accepted them yet, then this will all be 0 for you. But if you've actually accepted them, then it will populate with the amount that you've accepted. And then down in the bottom, section D as in dog, that's what's left over to be paid. If it's red, that's what you owe. If it's green or in parentheses, right? It shows up in parentheses, not a negative. Chris or Sophie.
Green
Yeah.
means refund.
Yeah, green means refund. That's what we owe you back. And we have that written right here too. Okay, I know that was a lot. So again, if you have questions, either drop them in the chat right now, or as Chris said, you can contact us tomorrow. You can email us tonight and we'll get back to you tomorrow. You can schedule an appointment with us, whatever you want to do, however you want to interact with us, we can guide you through your specific case if you need some assistance. Okay, we are kind of wrapping up the presentation part. Like I said, we're a small group tonight, and so we're going to spend the majority of time now kind of digging into your questions. But this is our last tip for you. So admissions documents are your final transcripts, and they should also be listed in your checklist. And I recommend ordering them now. So if you've gone to an institution and you're no longer attending there, order those now. If you're currently still attending somewhere, you can still order them, but make sure that you indicate that you want final grades posted. Otherwise, they're going to send us an in progress one, and we can't really take the in progress one to satisfy the admissions requirements. And then the other thing that's really important is if anything has changed in your academic history. So let's say, for example, when you applied to go to UC Merced, you said you were going to take writing 1 at a community college, and then you ended up not taking writing 1. You took something else instead. I can't come up with an example right now. We need to know about any of those changes. So if you didn't pass a class, got anything below a C, or you had a change in the courses you told us you were going to take, you need to use the My Course Update tool that's found in your Connect account, so that you can notify us of that, so that we can re-review your file and make sure it doesn't affect your eligibility. Okay. Oh, and also this is us. This is our team. So when you call us, you'll be interacting with one of us. And I think that's it. So let me stop sharing my screen and let's jump into Q&A. Ricky's going to guide us through those.
Yes, I am. Thank you guys so much for the presentation. Fantastic as always. Let's dive right into our questions. And just a reminder to our listeners and viewers tonight, if you haven't yet sent in your question, this would be a great time to click on the Q&A button, send that over to us, and we will get to answering that right now. The first question we'll start with, do you have to take placement exams if you're a transfer student?
All right, let me pull up. I'm going to use, well, as Chris said, it will be listed in your checklist. But you may have taken something that's on a transcript that we haven't gotten yet, so we don't know about it. Let me show you how you can kind of go in and predict that for yourself. So let's get screen share back up. Okay, so I'm going back to that admitted student website, which is admitted.ucmerced.edu. Under next steps, I'm going to select complete placement exams, which is step 6. And I'm going to use math as my example. So right here, it says for more information is available at this link. So I'm going to click on it. All right. It says who needs to take the placement exams. So this is specific to chemistry and math. Math placement exam. All incoming first year students are required to take the math placement exam. The chemistry placement exam says all incoming first year students intending majors in the School of Natural Sciences, pre-health, they must take it. And then down here it says transfer students. So math, all incoming transfer students who have not taken a UC transferable pre-calculus course, Math 5, Math 11, or Math 21, then you must take it. And then it also goes over that for the chemistry exam. So back on this page, you can click more information for all of them, and it will tell you again specifically if you need to take them or not, regardless of whether they're listed in your checklist. So like, let's say that you are a transfer student and you did take Math 5 equivalent at your community college, but you haven't given us that transcript yet. your checklist is probably going to show that you need to take this placement exam. But if you're confident that you took the equivalent of that course and you successfully passed it, then you don't need to take the placement exam. Also, just as an FYI, it won't harm you to take the exam. I know taking exams is not fun, but if you took it and you also passed this course, it's okay. It's not going to do anything bad. Okay.
Perfect. The next question, when are we going to be assigned our advisor for course registration?
Okay, so if you are a transfer student, you've already been assigned an advisor, and many of the advisors may have already reached out to you. I can tell you for sure that you're going to get an email from your academic advisor. Ooh, that's going to take me a minute to look up. Chris, do you want to talk about first year advising while I pull up the exact date that this email is going to go out?
Yes, so if you are a incoming first year student, you will be um receiving academic advising from our Bobcat Advising Center on campus. Whereas if you are a transfer student who is declared on a particular major, such as School of Natural Sciences, Shaw, School of Engineering, you will be receiving academic advising through one of our schools, such as the Shaw Advising School. And so alongside of these registration tips that will be going to your UC Merced email, if you are a transfer student, you're a little more particular with your course registration. So your academic advisor will actually be reaching out to you with course recommendations based upon your academic record. And so you can be expecting that type of information to go to your UC Merced email, and Lisa will be letting you know the exact date pretty soon once we get it.
Your course recommendation email and or your registration email from the Bobcat Advising Center is going to be in your inbox on December 2nd. So like I said, right now, what you need to be doing is watching those videos so that you understand how this process is going to work, and then reading your email. And then on December 2nd, we're going to send you some very detailed information. And then on December 4th, that's when you're going to register.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. The next question's hopping over into the topic of payment. So they're asking if we have a payment plan option or if they have to pay everything up front or something in between.
Yeah. So as Sosik on her slide, one of the slides she did, the deferred payment plan opens. Let me go back to it. It opens on December 15th. We call it the DPP, Deferred Payment Plan. So on December 15th, if you know that you're going to have money left over to pay, so using that tool that I showed you, then you can sign up for the payment plan. And basically what it does is it divides whatever that remaining balance is into 4 equal payments. So you'll make your first payment in December, or I'm sorry, in January, one in February, one in March, and one in April. Other people may choose to borrow student loans or student loans and a parent loan to cover that balance. You can also do a combination of it. Let's say that you're going to borrow one student loan and then do a payment plan on the rest. Everybody is going to be a little bit different on what's left over to pay and your own financial situation on how you're going to cover that balance. And if you need specific help on your account, just reach out to us and we'll guide you through it. Easy peasy.
Definitely. SFC, Student First Center, they are amazing. Everything's easy peasy to them. I promise you, save their contact information. You will not only be wanting that information now, but I promise you, take my word for it, all the way through commencement. I guarantee that that number and that contact and the location, you'll be coming really fast friends with everyone that's on this call, as well as everyone that you saw on the slides as well. All right, so the next question is going into about how to register for orientation. This person's letting us know that they didn't see the link on their checklist and nothing populates when they do go to that given link. So is
Yeah,
that maybe a bigger problem or just individual?
we're working on the orientation checklist link as of today. We see it is not on checklist. However, it should be there soon. I'm still gonna drop the direct link in chat. because you still should be able to access the registration link. But basically, it as a to-do item on your checklist, it is being worked on, but you still should be able to directly register for orientation through this link. If you're having any difficulties, please reach out. That way we can help you.
Okay, thanks, Chris. The next question, I think we may have touched on it, but let's go ahead and just jam right through it here too to make sure we do get it answered. They're letting us know that they're a transfer student coming to UC Merced, and besides checking the course catalog, would there be any type of advisor who would be able to help go over courses with them?
Yep, definitely. And so I would check your UC Merced email because you may have already gotten an email from that advisor. And if not, you can reach out to them directly. Our incoming spring class is smaller, and so you get some really personalized service, and these academic advisors are ready to help you. If you want to yeah, if you want to drop in the chat what major you are, I can show you exactly where to find out who your advisor is. Happy to do that for you all.
Perfect. Now, this question has to do with the handshake account, so I'm not sure that it's really a topic we would cover tonight, but they've asked it, so I want to make sure I throw it out there. So they're letting us know that they've been told they won't have access to handshake until the first day of classes. Is that correct, or is there a way to have access to that before the semester starts? Now, I'm thinking they're talking about for campus jobs, right? That's the only handshake account that we would have.
Yeah, and you should have access earlier, so let me follow up on that. Because you should be able to apply for jobs now. I will follow up on that, and then we can get an email out to everybody too.
Excellent. Next question. Can we review with folks how they can determine what their email address is and how to get that activated?
Yeah, I'm ready to go on that one. Okay. So this is Connect before you log in. All of you are undergraduate students, so you should have selected that. And then this right here, My Merced, is what you're going to click on. It might think I'm already logged in. We're going to find out right now. Nope, it doesn't. So I'm going to sign into a test account. Let's see. Okay, when you log in, your email is right here. All you're going to do is click on it. It's going to ask you a couple of like setup questions, and then your Outlook should just populate for you. Easy peasy. While we're on here, yours won't say for continuing students. It'll say for new students. And so you won't see all of these icons, but you'll see the majority of them. And then on the first day of school, this will switch to for continuing students, and then you'll see all the other icons. But this is where you're going to find your checklist, your My Financial Aid. You can get to the housing application right here. You can get to My Registration, your course schedule, your My Bill. Another thing we didn't talk about yet, if you are expecting a refund, so when we went over that direct cost worksheet and we said if your number is green at the bottom, that means we owe you money back. I recommend signing up for electronic student refund. So that means the money will just get direct deposited into whatever bank account you specify. Whereas if you don't do that, a paper check is going to get mailed to your mailing address, which will take a little bit longer. So I recommend doing that. And then this is also where you see that cool tool that I was talking about, your My Degree Path.
We have so many cool tools. All right, let's take a look at other questions here. And once again, a reminder, if you haven't yet sent yours in, go ahead and do that because we are winding down a little bit closer to the end of our program tonight. So make sure that you get those questions sent in to us so we can grab those tonight for you. And let's see, I want to make sure we're not duplicating anything. We might have actually gotten to most everything here. Can we talk about the proof of citizenship? What type of options can they offer us and where should they go with those?
Yeah, so you might be asked to provide proof of citizenship for two different things. One, financial aid might be asking for it, and or two, it might be because you were required to fill out a statement of legal residence. the checklist item will tell you the exact items that we can accept and how to turn them in. So this is going to be very student specific because some items have to be turned in either in person or they have to be notarized. Some items can be uploaded directly to your checklist. So if I was you, if you can't figure it out by reading those, just reach out to us tomorrow and we'll pull up your checklist and guide you through it.
Very good. Another question here. Can I please get the link so that I can make an appointment in person to have help with registration and checklist and just kind of general questions?
Oh, yeah. So I think Chris, are you gonna drop it in? I'm gonna show them our website real quick too.
Yeah, I'll redrop it. And pro tip, anytime you contact us, include your student ID. That way we know who you are and can provide the best service.
Okay, so Chris gave you the link, but I'm just gonna show you our website real quick too. On the contact us, these are all the ways you can interact with us. You can schedule a virtual appointment. We also do virtual drop-ins, and they go a little bit later into the evening because we know 8 to 5 doesn't work for everybody. This is our student team on this window here, so they're going to be able to give you information about the exact student experience, which is sometimes helpful. And then if you get to a point where you've asked something that they can't answer, they're going to refer you to one of us, and we'll follow up with you the next day. You can come in person. We also have chat, and then you can call us as well. So totally up to you how you want to interact with us. Now, for academic advising, we are not going to be the ones that are going to tell you like what you need to take. We can guide you through the registration experience, but academic advising, you're going to need to do that with your academic advisor. So let me pull up those really quick. So we're going to start with first years. So as Chris mentioned earlier, all first year students are advised by the Bobcat Advising Center. And you can just click on See My Bobcat Advisor and you can follow the instructions here. If you are a transfer student, you're going to go directly to your school. I think if I just Google academic advising, UC Merced, let's see what comes up. Okay, so different things came up. So if you are in the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts, it's Shaw Advising. We call it Shaw, School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. So meet with your advisor, and then you just go here to figure out, how you're going to interact with them. If you are math or chem, you're going to meet with the School of Natural Sciences. So and all their websites are basically set up the same, where there's a link that says meet with your advisor. And so if you click on any of these, oh, I'm already on it. It tells you who your advisor is. So Erica Robbins, she advises all natural sciences transfer students. So if you are any of the majors in the School of Natural Sciences and you're a transfer student, that's who's going to be your advisor. And then if you're an engineering student, it would help if I could spell it. See, same thing, see my advisor. I'm going to click on that. And then depending on what you want, so theirs is a little bit different, but if you click on it, then it will tell you who advises who. So Carla advises all transfer students in the School of Engineering. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Lisa. The next question here, which school does bioengineering fall under? That one just came in hot off the presses.
I'm gonna let Chris answer that.
I need to Google just to be safe on that one. One sec. Google has the answers.
Google does.
It's through the School of Engineering, so SOE.
Here's the other way that you can figure that out too, is by going to the catalog. The catalog is your best friend, so familiarize yourself with it. But where we were before, if you click on academic programs, they're broken down by school. So this is how you can figure out which school you belong to and how you get to your sample for your degree plan.
Excellent. Next question. Are there any resources available for information on research and volunteering opportunities for pre-health students?
There are. Chris, do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, there's in addition to your academic advisor, if you are wanting to go the pre-health route, there's pre-health advising available. And I know the second part of your question was what are research opportunities? We have a center called UROC, the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Center, that can assist with connecting you to research opportunities and or with faculty. So we'll put both of those resources in the chat.
See, it's helpful having someone who's an alumni because they're more in touch with those things than someone like me who did not go to school here.
Same here. I bounced around a couple of places and then I landed here as a pro staff for the last 10 years, but it's been incredible. So different experience for sure. All right, so we only have a couple minutes left, everyone. So if you have another question, feel free to get that sent over to us. We do have just a couple more here. How do we apply for jobs on campus?
Ooh, that's that handshake tool that we were talking about. It's jobs.ucmerced.edu. And if you try to log in right now and you don't have access, email us and let us know at the Students First Center. But like I said, I'm going to follow up on that tomorrow and get an email out to you all with exactly the date that you'll have access if you don't already have access.
Definitely. And also, while we are starting to wrap up a little bit here, if you guys haven't yet opened up the chat box throughout this past hour, go ahead and do that right now because everyone that's been on has been dropping links over there. So Sasik, Lisa, and Chris, they've all been sending out great links for you. So it's not only contact information, but all of these resources that have been mentioned, you will find most, if not every single one of them in the chat box. So pop that open, start clicking on all of those. Your browser window should open separately for each of those, and then you can go ahead and save them, bookmark them, and take some time to read through and really just kind of peruse everything at your leisure that we've been going over tonight. And then don't forget too, we are recording this tonight and it will be made available in just a couple of days, hopefully by the end of the week. And then you'll be able to watch that on-demand instant replay and, pause as you go throughout if you need to do that. So make sure that you are taking note of those resources. All right. Oh, we just got another one. I just think we finished. Let's see. Where can we access this recording? That's a great question. We will drop the link for you over into the chat box. We do have a YouTube channel that is called Life at UC Merced. So if you just go to YouTube and put that in, or even Google's our friend, you can put UC Merced, Life at UC Merced, YouTube, and that should come up for you. But we'll make sure to drop the links for you over there in the chat. So again, you can bookmark that. If you already have the page bookmarked, it's actually the place that you went to register for this event to actually get your Zoom link. So usually what we'll do is go back to that page, and instead of a registration or RSVP link, you'll see that it will then say a recording available or watch the recording by clicking here. So if you already have that page, then you've got it. If not, we'll go ahead and drop it over there for you into the chat and you can bookmark it there.
And we'll also email it out too.
Oh, perfect. I never want to say that because I never know exactly if it's one that we'll send.
yeah.
I don't want to make an empty promise, but I had a feeling. So
Yeah.
thank you. So be checking your email.
Oh, sorry, Ricky.
Go ahead.
We're going to send it out right before we go on winter break because we want you all to have all the tools and things that you need. Like we said earlier, we will go on winter break the 24th of December. So the university will be closed until January 2nd, and then we'll reopen with normal hours, and we'll get an email out to you with some details. Sorry, I got distracted by the question that came in about not being able to log into my health portal. If that is true, can you please email us so that we can look into your case specifically? Because we need to figure out if this is unique to one student or if all spring admits are having this problem. We'll definitely do some troubleshooting for you.
Most definitely. And I just want to thank everyone that's been watching us tonight and listening in. I keep seeing all the love come in. I just sent you a heart. I hope you can see that going back out. But it's always so nice to hear those words of gratitude for your appreciation for us being here. Of course, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you guys becoming Bobcats, joining the UC Merced Bobcat family. If you can't tell, we love what we do. We love having these connections with all of you. So this is very genuine. So we're so thrilled that you were able to spend some time with us this evening, sending in these amazing questions. We got to every single one, unless one more sneaks through. And if it does, we'll grab it. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and start closing down, but open the chat box again, start clicking on everything that you see there to make sure that you have access to all of those pages. And let me see. Oh, it's not a question. It's actually someone just sending their thanks. So thank you so much for that too. Before we do close out officially, I'd like to throw it out there to my friends here. And if anyone has any last words of advice or final tips that you'd like to share, this would be a great time.
Oh, I do.
Go for it.
Don't stress. We got you. We've been doing this. I promise you, it all has a way of working out. Just reach out to us. Read your email every single day. Even if you think you checked it, check it daily. We do send a lot of resources and we do try to contact you. But pick up that phone, email us. I promise you, don't get nervous. Everything has its time. So when you say you haven't received emails, this and that, we got this. We know what we're doing. We send it out on a timely manner. Just don't be nervous. We're there. That's it.
I have a quick one. Please reach out for support. There are tons of resources at our campus, and it's a great community. And again, if you don't know where to start, the Students First Center is always a great place to kind of point you in the right direction.
And my little item is I realized we didn't have it on the January slide, but orientation is on the 17th. So mark your calendars. That's the day you will go to orientation.
Yes, thank you all so much. And of course, we do have that fantastic Next Steps website that has all of the convenient dates and deadlines listed for you there in one place. That link is also over in the chat box, and I'll be talking for another few seconds. So you have time to click on that and find it, scroll, click a couple more things there. But once again, a big thank you to all of my friends who've been online here. It's so nice to see you guys. I don't always get to see you in person. So this has been great, all of us on one screen. And then, of course, as I said before, without our audience, we would not be here. So we love what we do. We are looking so forward to meeting you in just, gosh, another month or so, maybe 6 weeks, you'll be here and becoming Bobcats in person. And if you haven't had a campus tour, of course, those are always available. So tours.ucmerced.edu. If you, for some reason, if you'd made your choice to come and haven't actually had an official tour, that would be a great thing for you to do. So you can hop over to that website. And once again, just all of the advice that you've heard tonight, I echo all of that. SFC is, I will say, and I'm a bit biased, but they're the best resource on campus. They are the one stop. I really think that they kind of, they do all the heavy lifting for you. So you don't have to run around to 100 places or call 100 phone numbers. You get everything done right there. And if for some odd reason it's something they can't actually tackle, I promise you, you can mark my words, they will know where to send you and they will do a warm handoff to make sure that you get exactly what you need. So save all that contact information. Remember these faces that you see on screen because you will be meeting them in person very soon if you haven't already. Once again, a big thank you. My name's Ricky Hill, the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. It's been so much fun. A big heart to all of you. Thank you so much for joining and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.